Adam can run. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
We need to get some BLs, some crystals.
But welcome to pre-audio, guys. This is what we do before recording our episode. All I do is listen to Chris, singing in the background while he's grabbing beer. Three, two. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sideline Podcast. My name is Adam Flores, and today I am once again here joined by my boy, Christopher.
What's good? What's good? What's good, everyone? It's a beautiful Saturday morning, actually, Adam. Thank you for having me back on the podcast.
Of
This is
course.
episode number 4.
Number 4. I think this marks a month that
Number
we've been
4.
doing it. Congratulations to the both of
Wow.
us.
Wow.
Round
Would
of
you look at
applause.
that? And you know what? I'm going to give us a round of applause. You know why? Because a lot of people, they'll say, let's start a podcast and let's do this or that. But to really dedicate, this has been a month, really. I mean, we only record once a week, but,
Yeah.
we do put in the time. And episode 2 was complete ass. And we apologize for that. But you see how we're not going to do that again with the audio issues. So, yeah, if you guys are checking us out, make sure to subscribe. You can watch us on YouTube. We don't have the full video on YouTube. It's just audio only, but you can subscribe there. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. But yeah, what do we got on the docket for today, Adam? But before we do that, we have to crack this celebratory beer. It sounds like
That was a beautiful crack. I'm not
this.
gonna lie. That was pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. I already finished my coffee, but cheers. So yeah, we got a
Dude,
lot
coffee.
going
Hold
on
on, hold
today.
on. Coffee. Let's
All right.
talk about coffee really fast,
What do you
okay?
want to talk about coffee?
I Coffee is overrated in my
Oh,
book,
okay.
okay?
You know what? You know
I
what?
I work at a place where if people don't have their coffee, their day is literally in shambles. And I'm like, dude, it's just coffee. If somebody said they just made a rule in the world, no more coffee for anybody, people would just die. They would croak and die
They
because
really
they're
would.
so addicted to that shit.
Hey,
And I'm not
coffee's
saying that I'm any
addicting.
any any better. I'm not saying I'm any better. I'm slamming a Bud Light as we speak. Let me take a drink.
Yeah, because what if
Mm-hmm.
somebody came up to you and was like, "All right, they just discontinued Bud Lights. Like Bud Light is no longer a thing. What are you gonna do with your
Then
life?"
I'm drinking Miller Lite. I'm drinking
Wow.
Miller Lite, official
Wow.
beer of the Cowboys. You know what I mean? I'm
Official
I'm
beer of the
finding a
Cowboys.
solution, okay? But anyways, coffee overrated. Completely overrated.
Wow.
That's just a hot take that I have, not related to sports. But let's get into some sports then, Adam.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on. A lot going on. So free agency has been wild, or technically free agency hasn't started yet, but the offseason has been completely insane. And like Chris said, we only record once a week, but a lot has happened in this past week. So we got two NBA topics really quick just to brief over. We got Jalen Brunson out for multiple weeks with a sprained ankle, and then we got Kyrie Irving out with a torn ACL. Coming from a Mavs fan, that really does hurt. But we got a lot to go over for the NFL, so let's get into it. Jimmy Johnson retired from Fox after many, many years. Congratulations to him on a great career. T. Higgins tagged for the second year in a row. Matthew Stafford is coming to terms with a new deal for LA. Max Crosby becomes the highest non-paid quarterback in the NFL. 3 years, $106 million deal. Devontae Adams was released by the Jets. Chargers released Joey Bosa. Bucks re-signed Levante David. Eagles re-signed Zach Bond. Commanders re-signed Bobby Wagner. Christian Kirk traded to the Texans. Jags release Evan Ingram. Geno Smith traded to the Raiders. Tyler Lockett released by the Seahawks. Mike Gesicki re-signs with Cincinnati. The Chiefs re-signed Hollywood Brown. And the Chiefs re-signed Hollywood Brown just after news broke that Xavier Worthy was arrested earlier today or earlier last night. I'm not too sure, but we might get into that a little bit later. Chris, I know you got the list in front of you. What really jumps out from this list to you?
I would say let's give Jimmy Johnson his flowers here. Historic career, whether it was coaching or broadcasting. Jimmy Johnson retiring from Fox. We will miss his voice and his always perfectly white hair. Obviously, the guy's got a
Hey,
lot
he was
going
the
on.
Silver Fox.
Um, The Silver Fox. I mean, if I'd do it. I'd hit it. I would.
Wow, wow.
Anyways, yeah. Anyways, Jimmy Johnson, total legend in the broadcasting game. Obviously, his years in Dallas, they stick out in my mind. The way him and Jerry Jones kind of like really tanked the franchise altogether. By the way, but anyways, shout out to Jimmy Johnson. The Kyrie Irving thing, that's just very unfortunate. But the one player I feel bad for is Klay Thompson in Dallas. Everyone got hurt except for him, and now he's left to wander. Like, did he make the right decision going to Dallas? Should he have stayed in Golden State with the resurgence of their roster, with the inclusion of Jimmy Butler? And then Jalen Brunson, I think that's more of a precautionary thing. The Knicks are third in the East right now. They're 13 games back of the first seed, and they are 5 games back of the second seed. And I don't think it's not them worrying about losing these games. It's just about getting Brunson healthy, because if you remember the last playoff run, he was like, they drove him into the ground with minutes. And I expect him to do that again as long as he comes back healthy. As far as NFL stuff, there's like too much going on.
There is a lot
Okay,
going
let's
on. It
just
was
let's
a
just
crazy,
let's just
hectic
say
week.
that right now.
It was.
Okay, and I know it's too much when on the Instagram, like you see Ian Rappaport, every single post is like breaking news. Here's
Yep.
this, here's that, here's this. And you made a good point. We haven't even started free agency. A lot of this is just the teams re-signing some of the players that they want to keep on their roster, like the Bobby Wagner thing in Washington. Gino getting traded to the Raiders. I guess that's interesting because you have the Pete Carroll dynamic. Did that influence how things happened? Another thing that's lingering for Seattle too, that you didn't. Well, there hasn't been movement, but there is a lot of talk about DK Metcalf being on his way out also. So that would be interesting. Probably one of the last things that I was looking at was Evan Ingram being released by the Jaguars. If he's healthy, I think that's a big pickup for any team looking for a pass catching tight end. Uh, Evan Ingram's solid, like 6'5" frame, and can run routes like a wide receiver. So he'll be a coveted free agent if he's healthy. But yeah, I mean, some of this other stuff, Matt Stafford staying in LA, I told you that on episode 2. So, some stuff is like shocking, and then some stuff is like, okay, yeah, we expected that. And then, yeah, the Xavier Worthy news. You hate to see young players putting themselves in this position where they're jeopardizing their career and the potential to earn generational wealth, and simply because they cannot do football, or they try to do football off the field, and you can't do that when
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
somebody that's in line to potentially make a lot of money, set your family up, like I said, with generational wealth. So hopefully he gets the help that he needs, and he has the support around him, and hopefully that all gets taken care of. Obviously there is a victim in this story as well, so we don't want to just blow this thing away. But this is a testament to making sure that when you get to the NFL that you really, really, really watch your behavior, because everybody's watching, everything's recorded nowadays. You would hate to see the similar situation to what happened to Ruggs, the wide receiver from the Raiders, the guy that crashed while driving drunk and killed a lady and a dog. And like, he was gonna be a superstar and he threw it all away. And you really hope that's not the same for Xavier Worthy. But what a list of fucking topics you put together in there, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to put everything in there. I'm sure I missed one or two or three. There was some other stuff that I didn't really put on here, like two offensive linemen had gotten recruited by the Bears, including oh man, I can't think of his name, all pro left tackle from the Chiefs, but it was a crazy week just from last episode. And I think the one that really sticks out to me here would be Devonte Adams being released by the Jets. And it's not surprising, but surprising at the same time, because there was a lot of reports saying that he would be released, and then there was a lot of other reports saying that he would stay there to help any quarterback that's coming in, whether it's from the draft or whether it's from offseason, to kind of help him be that veteran wide receiver alongside Garrett Wilson. But other than that, I think the other two that do stick out to me are Geno Smith being traded to the Raiders and Tyler Lockett being released by the Seahawks, but we are going to be getting into that in today's episode because today we are talking about the NFC North and we are talking about the NFC West. So, starting out with the NFC North, we got the Lions. What do you think about the Lions after releasing their two coordinators, their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator? Their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, being the head coach for the Bears now, and their defensive coordinator now being the head coach for the Jets this next season.
Well, hold on. Before we go to the NFC North, you said something about offensive linemen. One from the Chiefs, all-pro left tackle. Shout out to offensive linemen. We don't even know their names.
Yeah, shout
Like
out to them.
you forgot his whole name.
I really did forget his
And
name.
it's just a testament to the work those guys put in. They fly under the radar. That guy could sit next to you at Texas Roadhouse, and you would be like, "That's a big son of a bitch," but you would not even know who he is, and you wouldn't know that he's an All-Pro left tackle from the Chiefs, who's been protecting Pat Mahomes, and like all that goes under, or it goes unnoticed, really, and it's kind of sad. But shout out to the big boys in the trenches for always, staying humble and really putting their nose in the dirt, literally. But yeah, I thought that was funny. You're like, I just fucking forgot his name.
Shout out Joe Tooney. I can't believe I forgot his name.
There
Joe
you
Tooney.
go.
Yeah.
There
I mean,
you
he
go.
played with the
What a
Pats.
name,
I should
too.
know that. I should know that. But it just slipped
Yeah,
my
you
mind
should
there
know
for a
that,
second.
dude.
I really
If you're
should.
hosting a podcast, you should
Yeah, you're
probably
right.
know
That's-
that. I'm
that's
just
my bad.
saying. Anyways, back to the Lions, huh? What a season they had. Obviously, they fell short again, but it's Detroit. I mean, it's kind of what we expect from them, even when they are good. Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery, I think as long as they have those two in the backfield, it's going to be hard to stop those guys when they run the ball. And then, of course, Jared Goff, anybody you put around him, he's going to throw the ball to. He elevates the wide receivers and the tight ends around him. Amon-Ra, obviously an elite wide receiver. Any way you look at it, from fantasy or statistical way or point of view, the guy is just unstoppable. And he's not even that big either. He's not like a giant wide receiver. He's just a very technical route runner, very fast, has sure hands. I think the Lions are going to be okay. I think the team in the North that I'm like really kind of worried about right now would be the Vikings, which we'll get into them right now. But being in the NFC North, you got the Bears, the Vikings, and the Packers. I still think the Lions will finish top two in the division. I do think they'll still be very potent on the offensive side of the ball, regardless of who they have as their OC. But I do see a positive season ahead for the Lions.
Yeah, I also do see a positive outlook for the Lions. I do think that they finished top of the division again. I don't really see either one of these teams in the division, whether it's the Packers, Bears, or Vikings, overtaking them. Like you said, they did fall short again, and after losing an offensive and defensive coordinator like that, it definitely is going to be hard to repeat production like that. But when you have elite players on your team like Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jameson Williams, like you got so many key players in Detroit, and some of them are even still on their rookie contracts, and others are already solidified with major contracts like Jared Goff and Amon-Ra. So I do think they repeat next year. The ones I'm excited for are the Bears. They get Ben Johnson, which is like the belle of the ball this past offseason when it comes to head coaching hires. And Caleb Williams was not a terrible quarterback in my eyes last year. I think he was really solid. I do think that he did need help in the offensive line. And now with them getting Joe Tooney, like I think that is an elite signing. I think Joe Tooney he is an all-pro. I don't think he is an all-pro. He is an all-pro. And for them to get somebody like that, it just really helps out the offense. I do think Rome Odunze is going to have a breakout year this year now that Keenan Allen is probably going to be gone. I don't really see him re-signing with them. And then you also have DJ Moore to help. What I do think happens this coming off season though is they do pick up a running back in the draft, because I'm not a huge DeAndre Swift fan, but I don't know. They might stick with him. They might not. What do you think?
I mean, to me, it's not going to be the make or break decision if they stick with DeAndre Swift in the backfield. I think what the Bears need to focus on, and you're already seeing it, is rebuilding that line. Joe Tooney, I'm going to say his name as many times as I can in today's podcast, just because we need to respect those guys. But anyways, Joe Tooney, like I said, he's an indicator of what they're trying to do, rebuilding that line. All the skill players will go just as far as the offensive line goes. If there's no protection for Caleb Williams, then he's not going to have the time to get the ball out of his hands to his playmakers. So I do think they need to solidify that. And then we'll see. I mean, obviously, rookie year for Caleb Williams. I am not the guy that's going to bash a rookie quarterback after 1 year, especially being in Chicago of all places. They need to get him some help. It's interesting to see what that help looks like going forward. A Dunzi, I don't know. I feel like I didn't see enough of him this year, but like I said, if there's no protection for Caleb Williams, then Rome Adunzi's not going to have any output whatsoever. And yeah, if Keenan Allen is gone, that's only going to shift some targets his way. But the Bears, I don't know. I'm just not a big Bears fan altogether. But we'll see how this off season shakes out. But the one thing I will say is that Caleb Williams will probably get, even after this season, he'll probably still get another two years to see what he's really made of.
Yeah, I really hope that they don't do what they did with Justin Fields and just throw him away after his third year. I think they hopefully give him the 4 years from his rookie contract and then go from there. But I think they wasted Justin Fields' career, but that's a story for another day.
Well, I mean, I also think they could tell right away Justin Fields is not Caleb Williams and vice versa. I
Right.
mean, just the way the two play the position, and Caleb being your more prototypical type of quarterback. I just think they had it all wrong with Fields. I think they thought he was something that he wasn't, and they didn't even try to play to his strengths really. And until it was like the writing was on the wall and they knew they were going to get rid of him, then you saw them kind of let him loose. But that's not the style of football they want to play, and that's ultimately, I believe, why they got rid of him. But I think they know that Caleb Williams is more likely to be the answer as a quarterback one than Justin Fields was ever going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're really looking for more of a pocket passer than a scrambling quarterback, and Caleb Williams is definitely more of a pocket passer than Justin Fields, but not 100% a pocket passer like someone like Jared Goff. I mean,
Yeah, I
in
mean he can scoot. He can scoot for sure.
right in the NFL nowadays, every team is looking for that dual threat like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen esque quarterback who can do 100% of both and be successful. The Vikings actually have a rookie quarterback up in line this year, or now a second-year quarterback. I look at him as a rookie quarterback this year because he is coming off of his ACL injury. But J.J. McCarthy is set to be the starter in Minnesota now that Sam Darnold potentially might walk after this year. Now that the franchise tag deadline is over, they officially cannot franchise tag Sam Darnold, but they can re-sign him in the offseason if he does not find a landing spot anywhere else. The front runner for Sam Darnold now is the Seahawks, according to reports. Now that Geno Smith is gone, but I don't really see him going to the Seahawks. I think he does go somewhere else. I don't think he goes to the Seahawks, and I don't think he re-signs with the Vikings. So, what do you think they should do with Sam Darnold in Minnesota?
I guess that's going to be a lot I mean, it's really going to come down to, does Sam Darnold want to stay there? I mean, I would think after the year he had, probably his most prolific season, that I would be looking to stay with the Vikings if I'm Sam Darnold. I mean, Justin Jefferson alone is just enough of a asset to keep me around if I'm Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? And honestly, like if you're the Vikings, do you really want to start JJ McCarthy? This is his rookie year. He had no minutes last year. I mean, he had a bad injury, so obviously he didn't see the field at all. But do you really think that he would be the answer? And then you're kind of wasting Justin Jefferson at that point, because as elite as he is, like JJ McCarthy might not even have the ability to see the field at an NFL level. We don't know that. And at least with Sam Darnold, you have a proven commodity. Even if you bring him back on a 1 or 2 year deal, make the second year like a player option or something. I can't see them just saying, "Hey, Justin Jefferson, JJ McCarthy, this is your guy this year." And I don't know. I think that would really be bad for Justin Jefferson's statistics as far as fantasies go. But Who knows? The Vikings have done some crazy stuff in the past, but I still think that they need to either stick with Sam Darnold or get another veteran quarterback. But I could see Sam Darnold going and playing in somewhere like maybe like Seattle. You said, depending on what happens throughout the draft, you might see Darnold sign with the team that needs a quarterback post draft. Once you see how teams maneuver with their picks. But yeah, that's an interesting situation there for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I do think they are definitely, like you said, in an interesting situation. And going back to Justin Jefferson, I don't really think Justin Jefferson is a worry at all when it comes to like fantasy or production just in general. He's proven that he can do it with every and any quarterback that he's given. That's just what an elite receiver does. He gets open 100% of the time, and he's always going to be a go-to no matter what, no matter who's throwing him the ball. He's always going to get open. He's always going to get the ball. He's always going to make plays. Um, on the other hand, Aaron Jones, who Mr. 915 himself, shout out Aaron Jones, he's from here. But I don't know. He had a great season this past year. I don't think it was definitely his best. Definitely wasn't his worst. It was more of a mid-season for him, but I think he's going into his ninth year in the league. I don't know if he stays at that production level. You know, when running backs get older, obviously the production tends to dip. Now you do have those unicorns like Saquon Barkley, who's also in his eighth or ninth year, and his production just keeps going up. And same thing with Derrick Henry. But those guys are not a dime a dozen. We've definitely seen that with running backs that drop super early in their career, someone like Todd Gurley. But Aaron Jones has proven to be a solid running back. I think he's going to re-sign with Minnesota. He did say that he wanted to re-sign and he wants to finish his career out in Minnesota. But yeah, I just think the Vikings are definitely in a unique situation with their quarterbacks. I do think they should go with JJ McCarthy. I do think they need to give him a chance to at least prove himself. Like you said, he had 0 minutes on the field, so I don't know how you can just write off a quarterback that hasn't gotten any playtime.
Well, it's not that we're writing them off. It's just we don't know what we have, and that's almost just as bad. And like I said, I was looking into the quarterbacks that Justin Jefferson has had, and I mean, talk about confidence. The guy even said when they asked him about the potential departure of Sam Darnold, he says, and I quote, "It don't matter who's going to be throwing the ball. I'm going to make a play for sure." So obviously, confidence is sky high with him, no matter what. But I do think we are downplaying the fact that this is going to be a rookie quarterback. And you know how hard it is, man. I mean, yeah, you have Justin Jefferson, but you have 2 seconds to get the ball out of your hands. Can you read that defense? Can you make that play? It's going to be interesting. Shout out Aaron Jones, like you said. Um, I, he's always going to have that goal line work. I think so. His days probably as a bell cow back are probably limited now. But I still wish him the best, and I still think he'll make the best out of his opportunities, as he's always done throughout his career, even going back to UTEP. So shout out to Aaron Jones and holding down the 915 in the NFL. So that's all I got on the Vikings, though.
Well, now that we're on the topic of running backs, let's talk about Josh Jacobs, who was amazing this year, coming from his fantasy manager, myself, yours truly. He had, I think,
Chill, bro. Chill, dude. Chill,
I
dude.
I think he had like what 15 rushing touchdowns this year.
uh,
It had to have
In
been.
case you guys don't know, guys, just really fast, really a quick caveat here. In case you guys don't know, my boy Adam here
Hmm.
is he loves himself some fantasy football.
I do love
Even
myself
he
some
like
fantasy
when
football.
when he goes to work, he has a little tag that says fantasy football manager right on his shirt
Hey,
because he
fantasy
wants you to
football
know
champion, fantasy football
he wants
championship.
you to know that he does not play when it comes to fantasy
I
football.
really don't.
But anyways, I just think it's funny that you're like, coming from his manager over here, the
Hey,
only manager that he ever had. It just sounds funny, but Josh Jacobs has been solid since his days with the Raiders, actually.
yeah.
And I was even surprised they let him go, just like the way they did. But that's what you see a team like Green Bay really pouncing on that opportunity to secure a running back like that with the departure of Aaron Jones at that time. But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it was just I had to call you out right there.
No, yeah, you're all good. I mean, I do love myself some fantasy though. Side note, guys, we have a fantasy league together, and I'm back-to-back champion. Just saying. So I know a thing or two when it comes to
uh,
fantasy, but just a thing or two, okay? Because I've never been the one seed. I've never gotten a bye. Both years I was a wild card. We get two byes, keep in mind. So we get two byes in our league, and I have never gotten a bye, but I've won both championships. So it really shows that you don't need a. Okay, well, you know what? Never mind. Okay, back to Josh Jacobs. You're an
dude.
ass.
Everybody likes to talk about their own fantasy team, but
Yeah.
nobody actually cares about anybody else's fantasy team. You're just like, yeah, I'll listen to you, but after we're done talking, I don't remember who you're starting this week. But
Yeah.
anyways,
It.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No,
But
it's like oh, let me go on about
just
mine.
know that if Adam ever starts going on these little fantasy rants about that are just about his team specifically,
Just skip
I'm
ahead.
going to give him this sounder every single time.
All right.
Just know it's
Well,
there, or this
to.
one.
Well, I'll try to keep it to a minimal then. But like I said, Josh Jacobs had 1,300 rushing yards, 15 rushing
uh,
touchdowns alone this year, on top of one receiving touchdown, which was actually his first of his career, believe it or not. But yeah, I think the Packers are going to be there next year. I don't know. I'm not a Jordan Love fan or Jordan Love believer. Sorry, Packers fans.
you don't love love,
I don't love Love, man. The love isn't loving for
dude.
him.
I love love,
I
dude. I
don't love
just
Love.
everything about love. I love it.
Really, you love Love?
I love love.
I don't love Love, man.
I love love.
I don't get the love for Love, But
Have you ever been in love, dude?
I have. I am
It's,
currently,
oh,
guys.
you're in love right now.
I am in. Yeah.
Oh wow, dude, don't you just love it?
No. Not this Love.
I just remember hearing someone on SportsCenter say, "Oh, I love Love," and I was just like, "Bro, okay, we get it." Jordan Love, solid quarterback. I mean, he makes some crazy throws. I think you could do a lot worse if your quarterback. Well, let me rephrase this. If Jordan Love is your quarterback, that's one position that you don't need to worry about because he's going to be consistent and he's going to meet the standard of an NFL quarterback at least. Now, does he have the weapons around him? He's got Romeo Dubs. He's got Jaden Reed. He's got another wide receiver that I can't remember his name. Watson, maybe,
Oh,
that I felt like was pretty good.
Christian Watson. Christian Watson.
Yeah, Christian Watson. So, I mean, obviously, maybe they do target another wide receiver in the offseason through free agency or through the draft. But I do think Jaden Reed is a stud, honestly. When he's healthy, he's usually pretty productive. And I mean, he gets a lot of opportunities with the Packers. I do think that they are another team to watch. I think they finished either top two in the division. I think they're right up there with the Lions. And I mean, considering everything that they've done, kind of with what they've had in Lambeau, I think they're always a consistent team that you need to watch out for them, especially if you're a Cowboys fan and you're playing them in the playoffs. They have the fucking Cowboys number. So I think they have a positive season this year. I don't like the Packers. I hate the Packers, actually. But I'm trying to be as, what is it? I'm trying not to let my bias show, I guess you could say.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like you said, coming from yourself, a Cowboys fan, they do have the Cowboys number in the playoffs. Fun fact, they actually have
Yep.
more playoff wins in Dallas than Dallas themselves, which is insane.
Okay, that's disrespectful, dude. We don't have to do that. Okay,
Well, you
we
know
didn't
what?
have to go
You
there. We
disrespected
don't
my
need this.
fantasy and
Okay.
you disrespected my Patriots. So you know what? I'm gonna do that to you. I'm gonna do that to you. They got more wins in the playoffs in Dallas than Dallas themselves. But I don't like Jaden
That's
Reed
fucked.
myself. I
That
don't
is
like
fucked.
Jordan Love. I don't like Jaden Reed. I'm gonna say it first. A lot of people do. I just don't. I Jaden Reed is one of those end around guys, and you saw it a lot this past season where I mean, not a lot, but for a wide receiver, it is a lot. He had 20 carries. And, I mean, when you think of wide receiver one, you don't think of, oh, let's get him 20 end arounds so he can get, what, only 100 rushing yards? And it's like, sure, that's great, but as a wide receiver, you just don't want to see them rushing all the time or doing end arounds or jet sweeps, whatever you want to call them. I think he needs more receiving work. I think Jordan Love needs a proven wide receiver one, and they're actually front runners for DK Metcalf, including the Patriots and the Chargers. But we'll get into the Seahawks right now. I do think that they do need a wide receiver, whether it's through the draft or whether it's through free agency or trade or whatnot. But I don't know. I do believe in Christian Watson. He's just super injury prone. He's always injured. I don't even think he's played a full season up until this point in his career. But I'm just not a believer in this team. No matter how many wins they rack up throughout the year, I do like Josh Jacobs. He is a bell cow, but that's really only the bright spot for me for this team when it comes to superstars. But a lot of people would disagree with me on that.
Wide receiver ones that run a lot is not that crazy of an idea. I mean, look at Tyreek Hill. I mean, that guy built a career of doing small little screens and end arounds. Like, I mean, a wide receiver number one is really like dictated on how your offensive coordinator wants to use that position. You know what I mean? Obviously, everyone thinks wide receiver one, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, those tall guys that can go up and get the ball. But there is room in this league with the spacing and the way that teams run the offense, where you see that wide receiver ones don't have to be that stereotypical size and frame. And look at the Chiefs; they never have a wide receiver number one. They kind of just throw their wide receiver core together and see what sticks. And like I said, I think that's more of Andy Reid and his style of offense. But I think that's what fits the Packers in a way. So I don't know. I think what you said about Dubs and Reed and Watson not ever being healthy, you're correct. I don't think I've seen any one of those play a full season. It seems like almost every other week one of them is out due to some sort of injury. But, that's the name of the game. That's usually how the NFL works. And you can only play who's available. So we'll see how the Packers turn out this coming season. Let's go to the NFC West. You were already talking about Seattle, but let's start with the Rams first. I told you Stafford would get his extension.
You did.
There's no way you let somebody like that walk, especially at the quarterback position, dude. I mean, there's just so few of those guys that are really, really game winners at the position. And if you have one, and you've had success recently like the Rams had, and you're in LA and you want to be relevant, you have to have that quarterback position solidified. Cooper Kupp is somebody that you could say, you know what, I'm willing to let him walk. Another wide receiver number one that plays very similar to Tyreek Hill and these other guys that you were talking about. But I think his age has caught up to him, his injury track record as well. So I think he's probably on the way out. And Kyron Williams, I still think is a top running back no matter which way you cut it, just based on the usage that he's going to get. Even him, he's not the biggest running back, but the way he runs and his ability to catch the ball coming out of the backfield really makes him an elite running back, I think, in this league. And he does it all really by himself, so which is pretty crazy. But those are my thoughts on the Rams. And like I said, hit the nail on the head with the Matt Stafford contract extension there. Just saying.
No, yeah, you really did hit the nail or the nail on the head on the nail. Head on the nail. Head on the nail. I got it. Yeah, it just took me a while to get there. But yeah,
You gotta hit the nail on the head.
You gotta hit the nail.
Like the nail has a head, and you have to hit the head so
Well,
it goes into wherever you're nailing it to.
Right? Like I hit the nail on the head, or I hit the head on the nail. Like you could say it either way, right? I think it works. I hit the
No,
nail.
I think the English language is set up for it to be I hit the nail on the head or head on the. I don't know. You're confusing me. You're confusing
like,
me.
Okay, like say it both. Like I hit the nail on the head. Like you hit the nail on the head. Oh, I hit the head on the nail. Like both work. Like I hit. Like if I were talking about you, like I hit the head on you. I hit you on the head.
Yo, okay, stop. Yo, all right, that's enough. You even confused yourself. You were trying to make your own point, and you just fumbled it into the ocean.
I did. Okay.
Bad. Like
I did.
Good
yeah.
God, that was awful. But yeah, hey, nice try though.
Hey, you know who
I'll
doesn't
give you that.
fumble? Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp's great. But no, yeah.
What a transition. Speaking about fumbling, Cooper Kupp
fumbling.
never fumbles, brother.
Actually,
Never seen it happen.
I'm looking at his game log. He had one fumble.
Oh
this year.
my God.
Wow, that was bad.
Oh,
He
there
had
you
none
go.
left.
You see?
All right. Well, I do think Cooper Kupp is still an elite receiver. He
Jesus Christ.
definitely is towards the end of his career for sure. But like you said, I didn't see Matthew Stafford walking because he wanted to leave. I think he was just I saw him leaving because someone was going to give him a bigger contract. That's all I really saw.
Right.
And when you're towards the end of your career, I mean, he definitely doesn't have 10 years under his belt. Or he doesn't have 10 years left is what I'm trying to say. And he's got a couple more seasons on him, to maybe 4 at max I see him playing, but I think 4 is even pushing it for someone his age. I didn't see him walking because the organization wanted to get rid of him. Like I said, I do think that he was going to walk for money. Cooper Kupp, on the other hand, I do think he walks for money. I do think when you're a wide receiver and when you're already 31 years of age, you're going to go and you're going to get the biggest bag you possibly can towards the end of your career, no matter what, whether you're going to win or not. He already has a Super Bowl. He already has a Super Bowl MVP. He's already solidified himself as one of the elites of the league. He's a great route runner no matter where he goes. I think he should go to New England. Just saying, I'm a Patriots fan. But that's Kyron Williams. I do think he is great. Like you said, for him to be a bell cow at his stature, he's only 5'9", 202 pounds. I'm taller and way
Small.
more than him. Like, the fact that I'm not an elite running back and he is kind of crazy, you know? Like, it's just crazy that you
Well,
can be as small as 5'9", 202 pounds, and then you can also have a huge running back like Derrick Henry, who's like 6'3", 240 pounds, and they both get the same amount of work. Like, he was 7th in rushing yards this year with just under 1,300 yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. Kyron Williams is no stranger to the end zone, and I think that's why he will always be top 5, top 10 running back in the league as long as he continues to be a bell cow. The one I am excited for in this offense is Puka Nacua after Cooper Kupp is gone, which I think he will walk, but I think Puka Nacua is just a fantastic wide receiver. I think he is the next Cooper Kupp. I think that's who they need to move on to. I think they need to stop looking to the past and they need to look to the future with Puka Nacua.
I think Cooper Cup ends up like with Jacksonville or somewhere.
You think so?
I don't know. I could see him. Yeah, I can see him like running like a jaguar out there. Just
You know who he could go
galloping
to?
through the defensive secondary of the New England Patriots.
You know who he could go to is like the Panthers. They got a
Dude, I was gonna say that, but that was like, dude, I do not wish that upon anybody. Whoever
yeah.
has to sign with the Panthers, they're like,
Yeah.
fuck, do I really want to play? Should I just start like a wing business in my hometown instead?
Wing
Like, you know what I
business.
mean? Like, or like, yeah, like a barn grill or something, like a smoothie shop. I don't know. Start something, brother. Maybe like try to get into like a chain ownership of a Starbucks somewhere. I don't know. I'm just thinking if you have to sign with the Panthers, bro, Jesus Christ, you must really love to play football. And
Yeah.
you must be okay with not winning because they do not do any winning in Carolina. But we'll talk about them when we talk about the NFC South eventually, or we might just overlook them completely, like the whole league does. Anyway, um, I like your take on Puka. He will be a good wide receiver, number one. But like I said about Kyron, the one thing that people really devalue in his game is his ability to come out of the backfield and catch the ball. And that's really where he sets himself apart from other running backs because he can do both. He can run between the tackles or he can come out and catch the ball effectively and break a tackle and get some yards using his feet. But yeah, a solid running back in Kyron Williams. I really, really am a big fan of his for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to possibly having him in fantasy this year. I know you had him last year, right? I think you were the manager of him.
Yeah. I grabbed him. I'm always looking for him in drafts, especially. A lot of people overlook him, so that it makes it easy to target him. But moving on to the Seahawks, Gino to the Raiders. We touched briefly on that at the top of the episode. Tyler Lockett walking away, or I don't know, maybe he's not walking away. Maybe they don't want to re-sign him.
No, he's
But you hate to see that relationship end between the franchise and the wide receiver. He's really like that last piece of the Seahawks that were super successful in like the 2012 era, 2013. He really is like that last piece of the puzzle I know everybody thinks Legion of Boom and all that, but he was like Russell Wilson's go-to receiver for a long time. But yeah, I would like to see Tyler Lockett keep playing. Obviously, he's going to play in a smaller role, probably play like as a slot receiver. But I mean, shit, I wouldn't be mad if he was playing with like the Cowboys. If I was a Patriots fan too, I wouldn't be mad grabbing someone like that. Just a sure-handed wide receiver that's not going to make a lot of money on the roster, not going to take up a lot of cap space, but could probably show other young wide receivers what it takes to develop in this league. Because him too, at his size, he's not the biggest guy, but look at the longevity of his career. It's crazy.
No, yeah, like you said, he was the last piece of that Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch era, and they also had like Jermaine Kearse and Doug Baldwin on that team. Like they were a crazy team. They blew out the Broncos, and then I
Mm-hmm.
think the next year they lost to the Patriots, right? Or am I getting my years mixed up?
No, I think I think you hit the nail on the head with that
I
one.
think I hit the head on the nail, yeah. But yeah, I don't think
Oh
well,
my
obviously
god.
he's already released. He's no longer with the team anymore. He's currently a free agent. So free agency starting up this coming week, and like you said, he definitely will be with another team. I don't think he retires, but he will be in a much smaller role, and he's going to be one of those wide receivers that's like a mentor almost, that he's got that mentor tag on him. He's I don't think he's going to be fantasy relevant whatsoever this coming year. I think if he is, he's going to be picked up in like free agency in fantasy where he goes undrafted and you're like, oh hey, somebody got hurt. He's going to step up into the wide receiver two role. But wide receiver two now on the Seahawks is who? Because you got Jackson Smith and Jigba coming off a fantastic year, and then DK Metcalf is actually looking for a trade. And I guess now that everybody's gone from that Seattle team, he doesn't want to be there anymore. I really it makes you wonder if whether it's the GM or whether it's the coaching that just makes him want to leave, or maybe it's like you said, there's no more of that old Seattle team, so maybe that's what's um, making him request a trade from Seattle. And the front runners for picking him up in offseason is actually the Chargers and the Patriots and the Packers, like I had mentioned earlier. But I actually do think he goes to one of those three teams if they can find a trade. But he is still under contract. Keep that in mind. So he's not a free agent. He's not going to sign with someone else. It's just likely right now.
Well, I think part of it is you don't know who your quarterback is, right? And we've seen DK that he's not one to be shy about him not getting the ball or being targeted. And I think with Gino, I don't think they always had a good chemistry. I felt like a lot of times you would see Metcalf just visibly frustrated, which I don't understand why receivers do that, but well, that's a topic for another day. But I think that's part of the reason he wants out is he's like, I don't even know who's going to throw me the ball here. I need to get targets. I need to keep progressing as a wide receiver, and let's go to somewhere like Green Bay so he can make love to love on the field, you
Make
know?
love to love. Oh
On the
my
field,
god.
on the field. It's a metaphor, okay? But
Right.
anyways, yeah, Seattle will probably be in a rebuild after this. They don't have a lot going on besides, like you said, Jackson Smith and Jigba, solid wide receiver out of Ohio State. Just played his rookie year. Will probably continue to develop. I really like the way that he plays. I actually drafted him too because I was high on him. But
Did you really?
it's kind of hard with Gino being the quarterback because he takes so much pressure on and he doesn't let the ball go sometimes. And so I think that kind of hindered his development. But I guess that's the biggest question in Seattle is who's going to be their quarterback going forward.
Yeah, like we had mentioned earlier when we were talking about the Vikings, there's rumors that maybe Sam Darnold might sign with them, or maybe they might pick up a quarterback like Jackson Dart, or I mean, I don't think they'd pick up someone like Quinn Ewers in the draft, but I think if they
No
do
way.
go, yeah,
No way.
yeah, no, I
Quinn
do
Ewers
think
overrated, clinically overrated, in
highly
my
overrated,
opinion.
and I think everybody's starting to realize that after the combine, especially. But he didn't have a great combine. He was pretty weak in the combine. Um, on their running backs, though, I do think they're very solid in running backs. So no matter who's quarterback, and if he can't get rid of the ball, he can always chuck it down to either Zach Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker, and both of them are great pass catchers. Both of them are great runners. I think Kenneth Walker is more of a halfback toss kind of guy, and Zach Charbonnet is more of a through the tackles kind of guy. And it's crazy because Zach Charbonnet, I mean, this is a fantasy perspective, but he had 2 games when Kenneth Walker was out towards the end of the year, and he put up like 30 plus points in both of them as he was the bell cow back. So it makes you wonder, is this new offense in Seattle going to run with Zach Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker as their running back one? Because Zach Charbonnet has proven that, hey, when Kenneth Walker's out, I can step up to be the number one guy. But it also sucks for somebody like Kenneth Walker, who can't always stay healthy, but when he is healthy, he's always a great running back, and he's always great when it comes to goal line work.
Yeah, I think you're splitting hairs with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. There's not a lot of difference between them. I think usage will really dictate who will be the wide receiver, the running back that performs the best is really who the coaching staff prefers to use and what type of offense they play. One thing about Charbonnet, and this is off topic, off the field, that sounds like the wine you would order at an Applebee's that's like discounted for like $3 a bottle or a glass. $3 a bottle is a
you
little
know,
crazy.
I've
And you
thought
see
about
white
this.
girls just getting absolutely wasted off of some Chardonnay at Applebee's on a Tuesday night with the side of buffalo wings and some French fries.
It'd be crazy if
Those
he
that's the
started his
only
own winery.
observation I had.
If he
What was that?
if he started his own winery and called it Chardonnays.
Right. If he doesn't have that in the back of his mind, or there's not some business guy that's preaching this to him, he's not hanging around the right people. And you can call my phone directly, and I'll help you with that.
You can
And we'll
call my
split the
phone
profits
directly. That's
60
crazy.
40,
I'm gonna
60 your way,
I'm
40
gonna
my way.
I'm gonna start walking into bars in Seattle and asking for Chardonnay and see if they got it on hand. But yeah,
They
I
just
do
kicked you
think
out right away.
I do think this team is definitely, like you said, going into a rebuild era if they do get rid of DK. I think if they keep DK and then they also keep Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, I do think they've got key components, and their defense is always solid. Seattle's one of those teams that just always has a solid defense. Same thing with like the Ravens and the Steelers and whatnot. But like you said, I think the biggest question is who's going to be their quarterback one. Um, Quarterback ones in the 49ers in the Bay Area, Brock Purdy, I don't know. I've heard rumors, speculation that maybe he doesn't sign with the 49ers. I've heard that maybe he goes and gets traded right before he gets his bag in San Francisco, and maybe he goes to a team like the Titans or the Seahawks. Who, I mean, I don't think he goes interdivision to the Seahawks, but I think if he does get traded, which I don't think he will, but he could go to a team like the Seahawks or the Titans, and they give up a first or a second round, and then it goes to the 49ers and they get a rookie quarterback. I think the 49ers are in a weird scenario right now. They've got key players still. They haven't really lost anybody, but they're in like a gray area right now. They just lost Debo Samuel to the Commanders, which you actually did predict last week. If you guys didn't go check that out, check it out on the last episode. And then they're also shopping around Brandon Ayuk, who is, I mean, he was a great wide receiver 2 years ago, and then he comes this past offseason, he signs a bag, and then he tears his ACL just after, I think he played maybe like 5 or 6 games, and in those 5 or 6 games he didn't really do anything. So it makes you wonder, where is San Francisco headed?
I mean, I still think they're going to be a contender in this division for sure. I think I don't know if you want to get rid of Brock Purdy. I mean, obviously he's going to have to get paid eventually. It doesn't make sense for the organization to turn around and trade him for like a draft pick, right? Because I've seen rumors that they would do that and try to move up in the draft, and Purdy would be the one that gets shipped off. And I'm like, you know how hard it is to find a competent quarterback. You have one. You know he can play in the playoffs. You've seen it. He's dependable. I mean, I think teams reach sometimes, and you do have Christian McCaffrey still. They need to just hope that he can stay healthy, but that's always been a question with him. But when he is healthy, he is, probably the number one running back in the league besides Derrick Henry. And the wide receiver situation is interesting, but I don't, Juan Jennings, we know what you have there. Ricky Parasol, he can catch a bullet like he can catch a pass. So there's that. That was a bad joke, by the
Yo,
way.
nah, hold on a minute. That was
That was a terrible
crazy.
joke.
That was bad.
Yeah, I was setting that up. I was setting that one up. But I don't know. I mean, you already can see that, they're ready to move on from Debo. They ship him to the Commanders. And I don't know. Like I said, I still think they have plenty of talent. I think the best thing for them would be to stick with Brock Purdy, whether they have to pay him or not. Because like you said before, if he walks or if they trade him, so he's going to get paid by whatever team he goes to. And that would probably be part of the trade deal, is that if he does get traded, that he would sign a long-term extension or a long-term deal with another team. But yeah, I think they need to chill out with the Brock Purdy like scenarios of trying to get rid of him. I think he's solid, and they already lost Debo, so they need they need like some presence on the offense that like is confident enough that says I've been here before, I know how to win, and I can do this. And I think that's what Brock Purdy gives these guys.
In case you guys aren't up to speed with NFL, like in off season stuff like that, his joke was Ricky Pearsall caught a bullet and he was shot last off season, and then he came back and played 11 games. So
Oh my
it
god.
was a crazy like Cinderella story for him. But yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
solid on wide receivers, even if they do get rid of Brandon
Yeah.
Ayuk. I think they've got Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, who are both super young. I mean, I think Juwan Jennings is maybe like 26, and Ricky Pearsall is only 24, so this was his rookie year that he's coming off of, and he was great. I mean, he wasn't like anything spectacular, but he was great. He was solid. I mean, they still got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, so no matter who they have at quarterback, whether it is Brock Purdy next season or whether it is a rookie or whether it's a free agency signing, maybe they go and get Sam Darnold, but you never know. Actually, they had Sam Darnold, I if I
Yeah,
recall
they're not
correctly.
getting Sam Darnold
Yeah,
back. There's no way.
but
Like he got like there's no way that happens. But like I still think that people that just want to reset to a rookie quarterback do not understand what you're talking about.
right,
Like
no,
that is
it
the hardest thing to do, is to win with the rookie quarterback. No matter who you have around them, it's the toughest position in sports, in my opinion, the quarterback position. And I think that you have something good there. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes there's not even grass on the other side. And I just think that you have to focus on improving the team in other aspects and just say, you know what, this quarterback position is solidified. Something that I was thinking about, a quarterback that might not be solidified would be someone like Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. I don't think he's, in my opinion, I don't think he's done enough to be the lockdown number one quarterback in Arizona. His skill set to me is not the best. I mean, he looks like he's playing baseball out there sometimes. And I do think that at some point you have to consider moving on from him to better the situation of someone like Marvin Harrison Jr., who could probably benefit from a more traditional type of quarterback as opposed to playing with someone like Kyler Murray, who's usually looking to use his feet first. But that's just my take on the quarterback situation in Arizona. What do you think about that?
I mean, speaking of baseball, he was a baseball player, if you recall correctly, and he was actually drafted in the
Right.
MLB draft right
Yeah,
before he went into
that's
the NFL
crazy.
draft. No, it is crazy. I think there was another quarter. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes was also another one, right, where he got drafted like from baseball, but then he went NFL. I think if I recall
Russell
correctly,
Wilson, another one.
Russell Wilson. I think that was the other one I was
Yeah,
thinking
and
of.
I think Pat. I don't know if Pat was ever gonna play baseball for sure. I think he played baseball in college, but I don't think he ever had that pro opportunity like Kyler or like I said, Russell Wilson. But I mean, these guys are just athletes, dude. I'm sure they could play any sport they wanted. I'm sure some of them could. I'm sure DK Metcalf could line up at small forward in the NBA and do decent. And
Oh,
not be the worst player on the
100%.
field. You, you
100%.
know. But I don't
Speaking
know.
of that, Puka Nakua, have you seen him ball?
Can he play soccer?
No, 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 no. Basketball.
Oh, he plays basketball.
Yeah,
Okay.
he can
I
hoop.
know
He's
some of those
he's
guys play
crazy.
soccer too.
Oh, okay. Now I didn't know about soccer, but I know that Micah Parsons and Puka Nakua are like actual crazy hoopers. Oh, and CJ Stroud too. They're all like crazy hoopers. If you haven't
Yeah,
looked at
you
that,
see,
like you
that's
should go
crazy,
watch
dude.
that. But like you said, I mean, these guys are athletes. They're all athletes. The only takeaway though is that they are athletes. They're not necessarily elite athletes. So Kyler Murray, like he could be an elite athlete. I mean, whether you look at it or not, he had what did he have here? He had
I
3,800
would
passing
say he
yards,
is an
30
elite
touchdowns.
athlete. He's just probably not an elite quarterback.
Right, and just because you're an elite athlete doesn't mean you can always play every single position. You know, like Kyler Murray's not going to line up in the slot and be casting or patching passes. You know, like that's just not him. But in terms of quarterback, I don't really see Kyler Murray as an elite. I don't even see him in the top 16. I always look at it like top 16 quarterbacks because that's your first half of the league and then your bottom half of the league. You know, so I don't think Kyler Murray's even a top 16 quarterback. He's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. When you have a quarterback that's always running around and making plays, like it's fun to watch someone like him, but it's not somebody that's gonna go and win you a championship. And I'm not a Kyler Murray believer. I do think that Kyler Murray should be traded. If I was the Arizona general management, I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna start shopping around Kyler Murray. Who wants Kyler Murray? And I'll get a high draft pick. Maybe there's a team out there that looks at Kyler Murray and they're like, you know what? Maybe we can build around someone like him, and maybe we can trade him and give away a little bit of draft capital, whether it's a second rounder from this year or next year. But I just don't see Kyler Murray someone who is worth even a third rounder. I would give up a seventh rounder for Kyler Murray and call it a day and have him as a backup. But I don't think there's anything interesting in Arizona right now. I think they're in a rebuild phase. James Conner is not a young halfback. I do think they need to get younger at the halfback position because he also has been prone to injury in his career. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably the only bright spot. Oh, I'm actually forgetting about their tight end. I'm sorry. So they've got two bright spots on the offensive side, but just in general, that team is getting older. It's aging. They don't have elite talent at the quarterback position. They don't really have elite talent on the defensive side either, and I just think that they need a lot of pieces in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of been the mantra for the Cardinals forever. I mean, they're never really that top of the league team that you always fear. I mean, sometimes they have a good season, sometimes they don't. But like like I said, the whole thing with Kyler Murray, I don't think it's gonna work out. And I don't think even if you wanted to trade him, I think you'd be surprised at how many teams would be like, yeah, I'm good on that. You know what I mean? Like I've already
Yeah.
seen enough Kyler Murray in the NFL, and so have other general managers and scouts. And I a third round pick for that would be like an absurd fucking thing. And I don't know if he can even fetch that. But real fast, one thing I wanted to say, this goes back to the Debo Samuel trade. The Commanders gave up a fifth round pick for him. This past season, the Cowboys traded a fourth round pick to the Carolina Panthers for Jonathan Mingo.
Oh man.
So I think a lot of like the trading things is like, do teams want to do business with you? A lot of teams probably are like, we're not doing business with the Cowboys, bro. We're not gonna give them anything, and especially we're not gonna give them a good deal like a fifth for Debo Samuel. So I think it would make it hard for the Cardinals to kind of move Kyler in a way. But then at the same time, I could see a team saying like, "Hey, Arizona here, yeah, take this fifth round, sixth round pick, and I'll take Tyler and his salary, and we'll see if it can work out here. Maybe somewhere like shit. I don't even know where he would go. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that play that style of offense that he would slide into. But maybe, yeah, maybe like somewhere like I don't know. Could he go to the Browns or somewhere like that? Or
I think that's
I don't
the
know. That's a
only
weird
team
fit.
that would be stupid enough to give up like a third round pick for him, is the Browns.
Well,
I mean,
they've done a lot of stupider things than
they have
that, so
done a lot of stupider
their
things.
track record does not help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So
mean, you could make a case for like the Jets or the Titans or the Browns or I mean,
maybe the Jets. I could see the Jets, yeah, for sure.
yeah, but
Total rebuild mode. Get
right,
Kyler. Maybe
exactly.
he can sign a 10-day contract with the Mets while he's there. Start playing some baseball again. I don't know. Just
He's
thinking out
gonna
loud here.
he's gonna pull a Bo Jackson and go back to back.
You
Saturday
never know.
afternoon you're playing a baseball game and Sunday morning you got a football game.
That would be crazy. That'd be cool if somebody actually did that.
It would be crazy. I mean, we've seen it what maybe like 2 or 3 times in the NFL with like star players. It was Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, and I feel like I'm missing somebody else, but I feel like those are the two that stick out the most.
Michael Jordan.
Did Michael Jordan really do that?
Yeah, he played baseball and he played golf.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wait, but like
Yeah.
golf
Yeah, yeah.
professionally or just like leisurely?
Yeah, like professional golf.
Get out of here.
Yeah. You know, there's a whole conspiracy as why he left the NBA in the first place.
I mean, I'm sure there's multiple, but I've never heard one.
One of them is that he was involved in betting scandals in the NBA. And that's why he retired all abruptly in his prime.
Well, I mean, he lost a lot of his money because of gambling, didn't he? Like after retirement.
Yeah, so that's why there's speculation that he was forced to retire or all this would get out that he was gambling like on the games.
That
I
makes sense.
digress. I could be totally wrong. Who knows?
I mean, hey, it's a theory, so technically it's not wrong. Technically it's not right.
Right. I'm just saying what I read on the internet, guys. You know, just like everyone else. You know, I see
don't
something, I read it, it's on the internet, it must be true.
don't believe anything on the internet unless it comes from our podcast, guys. But yeah, to round out the Cardinals, I think fantasy
Just
relevancy
slandered Michael Jordan.
fantasy relevancy
Uh,
only revolves around I think Trey McBride this next year. That's the only one that you can like really count on if you really want to deep dive into it. I mean, James Conner was a great running back this past year. I don't know if he puts up that same production this year. I mean, it's hard to write off, or it's easy to write off somebody who's already aging, but it's hard to predict if he's going to put up that same production level. Marvin Harrison Jr., he was okay. I definitely think he was probably the weakest of like the top 3 wide receivers that were taken in this past draft. If you put into terms like Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors on the other complete side of the world, they got who is it? Is it the Giants and the Jags who have them? But I don't know if I can believe in Marvin Harrison Jr. this next year.
not without a quarterback,
Yeah,
or
no,
not with Kyler Murray either.
definitely not with Kyler Murray. I just don't trust anybody in Arizona except maybe Trey McBride. That's really the only one. And Trey McBride was his go-to.
And if you even think about it, you would think that Kyler Murray would be way more fantasy relevant with the way he runs. But
You really think
even
so?
that, I mean, he's just so inconsistent, and then he does make a lot of bad decisions. And I don't know, not bashing him completely, but just kind of over the whole Kyler Murray thing.
Yeah. Actually, did you know that Trey McBride had 100? He hit 100 receptions before he caught a receiving touchdown this past year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he only had two
How does that
receiving
even
touchdowns the whole
happen?
year. I have no idea. He actually had a rushing
What the
touchdown
fuck?
before he had a receiving touchdown.
That's crazy. That's some crazy stats.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That's
But
some like
I mean, hey, that's the way the
sports
NFL
trivia
works.
shit.
Yeah. But speaking of sports trivia, let's go ahead and round it out and let's get to sports trivia.
The segue, dude. My middle name should be Christopher Segway.
Christopher
You know what I
Segue.
mean?
A segue to our
Yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah, dude. Like it comes natural to me, you know? It's like I am a Segway.
I am a segue.
Good
Oh
God.
man. All right.
Good God. All right.
So
So guys, sports trivia, the way we do this. And what's the score right now? What's the record?
oh man, I had it
I,
written down.
I
Okay,
think
so
I think
you've
we're
won.
one.
No,
I've
it's
won one
you've won one. I haven't won any, and we have two
and
ties.
and we've tied twice. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way, if you guys are new to the podcast, the way we end the podcast, the Sideline Podcast, guys, by the way, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, all that shit. The way it works is that we get a sports trivia, like it's like a statistic really, but it's about like guessing kind of sports trivia. And what we do is we get a top 10 list and we have 5 guesses to get as many of those top 10 answers correctly. Whoever has the most right wins, and usually I go first. So I think I want you to go first this time, Adam.
You want me to guess first, or you want me to ask
I
first?
think I want your question first because I want to
Okay.
see if you're trying to screw me over like you did last time.
Okay.
Guys, last episode, Adam really tried to dude, it was sickening what he did.
Yeah, it
And
was.
you need to go back and check it out. But your boy here didn't let it phase him. and I still tied him. Even with all the odds against me,
You did.
I still tied him. So
You
just
did.
remember that, folks.
All right. So today's sports trivia is: can you name 5 out of the top 10 most receiving touchdowns by a tight end all time?
All time?
All time. So 5 out of the top 10
Fuck.
reception or receiving touchdowns.
Shannon Sharp.
He's number 8 on the list. Shannon Sharp.
Hey, let's go. That's how you start it.
That was a nice pool. That was a nice
Tony
pool.
Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is number 2.
Oh, number 2. Wow, who's better than Tony Gonzalez? Rob Gronkowski.
Number 3.
Damn, who the fuck is better than those guys? That is crazy. Is Jason Witten on there?
Wow, Jason Witten is on here. Number 6.
Okay, so I just need one more to wipe the board here.
You know what's
God,
crazy?
this is harder
You know
than I
what's crazy?
thought.
Is that there's only 2 tight ends that have over 100 receiving touchdowns.
That's well. I mean, but it makes sense, you know?
No, it
They're not
does.
like
Right.
you're not always looking for them in the red zone. Usually they're blocking down there. One more tight end. I think my brain is fried at this moment.
You
I'm
should
trying to
go.
think of like who was the tight end like all the years that fucking Manning was with the Patriots or with the Colts. You know, like I'm trying to think of that. Like John Elway had Sharp, you know, like Witten and Romo. Gonzalez had whoever was playing as his quarterback.
Just think of longevity.
Um,
Think of longevity when you think of
that's
these
what I'm
guys.
thinking, and I'm like running out of tight end names here.
Can you
Like I
actually?
really am.
Can you believe that Zach Ertz is top 12? I just want to put that out there.
True. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, is Aaron Hernandez on there?
Nope, he is not on here. His career was
Oh
cut too
fuck.
short. All right, so
Okay,
you went
so
4 or 5.
that was it. So I hit 4 of 5. So that means, guys, that I hit 4 out of the 5. And in order for Adam to get a W this week,
I have
he
to go
needs
five
to
for five.
hit every single one. If he
Oh
misses
man.
one, it's an automatic tie. If he misses 2, game's over. Okay.
Oh man.
So, shit, I don't know. I think I might have actually had a harder one for you than you
Wow,
had for me.
man.
But you see, the thing is, though, is I try to go based on last season. And a lot of times you're hitting me with all this historical shit. But really fast, name like a few other of the tight ends that I missed.
Yeah, so number 1, I'm actually surprised you didn't get this one. Antonio Gates was number 1.
Oh my God, I forgot
Yeah.
about that fool,
Come on now.
bro.
Number
The
1,
only Gates
Antonio
I've been worried
Gates.
about recently is Kevin Gates or Bill Gates. There's so
Bill
many other
Gates.
more important Gates than him.
I mean, he's a pretty important gate if you ask me.
I just missed him.
I just
Number
missed-
1.
Number 4 is Jimmy
Okay,
Graham.
who else? Oh my God, fucking
Number
Jimmy.
5 is Travis Kelsey.
Oh my God, Trav.
Number 7 is
I
Vernon
suck.
Davis.
Okay, never guessing that one.
Number 9 is Greg Olson.
Greg Olson, okay.
And number 10, I've never even heard this name. You can call me a casual or whatever. Wesley Walls.
I feel like that's like an old timey name. Like, remember Wesley Walls, guys? Really, really great player. You know what I mean?
He played
I have no idea who he even played for.
seasons for the Panthers and the 49ers.
Yeah, no wonder nobody knows about him. Anyways, all right, guys.
Just
It's totally
Wesley
just-
Walls.
God, Wesley Walls just got dumped on right there. No disrespect, Mr. Walls.
Just got dumped on.
Anyways,
Born in 1966. Yeah, he definitely is one of those old timers.
okay, so I have for you the top 10 sacks by team in this last
Oh,
NFL season.
by team? Ah, shit.
By team.
Damn, I'm only.
I mean, think about it. That's not
Okay.
that hard because if
I
if
mean-
they have a good pass rusher, they probably have some sacks on them, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay, so I'm gonna go with
Put your phone down. Put your phone down.
Hey, I'm holding up.
Let me see. Hands up the whole
All
time.
right, hands up the whole time. All
Okay.
right, they're gonna be on my head.
The whole time for both of us going forward.
All right, I got. Okay, I'm gonna put the Steelers.
Top
in there.
10.
Give me the
Last
Steelers.
season. Last season.
Give me the Steelers.
Steelers are. Let me see. Hold on.
Oh,
Go
you don't
down.
have the list?
Steelers are number 17. My guy.
What? Shut up. They got TJ Watt. Oh my god.
You've already just tied, and if you
Oh
miss
my
another one,
god.
it's over.
If I miss another one, I'm not even
Okay?
gonna continue it.
Okay, that's fine. I hope you miss
Okay,
this one.
okay,
Good
give me
God.
the Broncos.
Number one, the Broncos, 63 sacks last season.
All right, Vikings.
Vikings, number four,
All right.
49 sacks.
Wow. Wait, how many did the Broncos have?
63.
Wow. That's a big gap from
Yeah,
one
that's
to
a lot of
three.
sacks. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, man, now I'm scared to even guess. I like those are the next two that I had lined up, but I mean the Steelers I thought for sure would be inside the top 10.
Nope. So you got two more guesses here.
I mean, I guess you got to give me Ooh, no, you know what? Give me the Texans. Texans.
Texans are number five. So
Okay.
here it is, folks. This is for not all of the marbles, but this is just so Adam doesn't lose his marbles.
I just need one more
So he
team.
needs to hit this one.
I just need
Let's
one
go
more
ahead
team.
and give him a drum roll here.
No,
Oh, no, that's not what I
that's
was looking for. My bad. Wrong one.
wrong one.
Okay.
Oh
All
man,
right,
I'm
Adam, one more
I'm
guess. Come on.
I'm really scared to guess. I'm not gonna lie.
Just do it. Just let your intuition fly, brother.
All right. It's because there's only like.
Let the intuition fly.
All right. What three did I guess already? I guess the
You
Broncos,
got the Broncos,
the
the
Vikings,
Texans,
and the Texans. Okay.
and the Vikings. Uh-huh.
Oh man, I'm scared. All right, I'm just gonna go with my gut. Give me the. Oh my god, I'm gonna get this wrong. Dude, I'm gonna get this so wrong, and I don't want to lose another one. I really don't.
Let it fly. Guess already.
Oh man,
Hurry up.
give me the Bengals.
The who? The Bengals.
Bengals.
The Bengals are not on the list.
Oh my god,
W in the chat for your boy again, folks.
dude.
Adam,
Okay,
you missed
okay.
the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Bucks, the Packers, the Giants, the Seahawks.
Dude, I was gonna guess the Ravens
Wow.
or the Cowboys, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
sure you
like,
were. I'm sure you were, dude. I'm sure you really were gonna
well, I
guess them.
mean, you think about it. Cincinnati had the sack leader of the year.
Okay.
They had Trey Hendrickson. He had like 18 sacks. So it's like when you have a sack leader, but your team isn't even top 10, that's kind of crazy if you think about it. All right, buddy.
This is all pity. This is all pity right now, okay?
All right. You know what,
You
guys?
took
Chris
an
is not
L,
going to be on the
another
next
L.
episode. Chris is not going to be on the next episode.
Hey,
He's not going to be on an episode moving forward. He's off completely. You're fired.
hey, just because I get these dubs, brother, just because I get these dubs.
Oh my god.
I gotta have a little something here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to choose a harder question for you next time. I was going easy on you.
Okay.
I really was.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that.
That's fine.
Hey, I never said that you had to stay with one sport either.
No, I'm better with football. I mean, if I got 3 out of 5 for football, I'm gonna go 0 for 5 on basketball. Like that's just me.
Yeah, you need to watch some more hoops, man.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Well, okay, so W in the books for me. So I am now the score is now 2-0-2.
And my score is
I'm running away
0-2.
with this. I am running away with this like at a
Yeah.
tremendous speed. Usain Bolt on the track, if you will.
You say
Anyways.
Oh.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
done.
you are done. All
I'm
right, get
done.
out of here. All right. Thank you guys for listening again. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. Chris, you got anything else to say?
No, dude. Thank you again for another episode. This was fun. I look forward to mopping the floor with you on sports trivia every Saturday morning. It's becoming a pastime for me, It's almost like drinking Bud Lights. It's like
Wow,
wiping the
wow,
floor with Adam
wow.
and drinking a nice cold Bud Light.
You know,
It's two of my favorite things
I'm
to
gonna
do on a
edit this
Saturday
part out
morning.
just so it looks like you're just like just sitting there.
But no, for real, thank you for having me on the show again. I really do appreciate it, guys. Like he said, go subscribe, show your friends, share, show some love to the channel and the Instagram page. If you guys listen this far, thank you one more time. And we will be back with the next episode very, very shortly. And that's all I got today. Adam, close us out.
All right, we'll catch you guys later. We'll see you next week. Peace. All right, that was good.